That one right there in the middle. Yes, that one. Let's go around a little bit. Maybe we'll get a better shot on that side. Chaff grenades. Chaff grenades are pretty much useless, but whatever. Finger bullets, which are really bullets. Okay, which one is it? I think it's that one. Yeah, that's that one. That one right there. I'm actually, this is probably gonna end badly because because of what I'm gonna say next, but he hasn't hit me yet in this point. There you are! La la la. Okay. One more missile here. No, this one here. I'm rather close to him. I don't really like being close to Metal Gear. Not that one. That one. Okay. Okay, that was great. That was a lot easier than I remembered it to be.
I'll crush you into dust!
Oops, careful there. Watch your balance. Oh, poor thing, he's in pain. I don't know, is it dangerous for that thing to have a nuke? What? You're yes, of course. You're still alive. I just shot a fucking great number of missiles into you, but you're still great.
Hey, Snake.
Liquid, you're still alive.
I won't die as long as you still live.
We'll see about that.
Bad. It looks like your revolution was a failure.
Just because you've destroyed Metal Gear doesn't mean I'm done fighting.
Fighting? What are you really after?
The restoration of the era when warriors such as us lived as we should.
That was Big Boss's fantasy.
It was his dying wish. When he was young during the Cold War, the world needed men like us. We were valued then. We were desired. But things are different now. With all the liars and hypocrites running the world, war isn't what it used to be. We're losing our place in a world that no longer needs us. A world that now spurns our very existence. You should know that as well as I do. After I launch this weapon and get our $1 billion, we'll be able to bring chaos and honor back to this world gone soft.
Gone soft.
Conflict shall breed conflict. New hatreds will arise, and our own biosphere shall steadily expand.
But as long as there are people, there will
Can you
always
shut
be
up?
war.
Can I kill you? Because you're pissing me off.
The problem is balance. Father knew what type of a balance was best.
Is that the only reason?
Isn't that reason enough for warriors such as us?
I don't want that kind of world.
Ha! You lie. So why are you here then? Why do you continue to follow your orders while your superiors betray you?
Because I'm an asshole.
Why did
I
you
mean,
come here?
what's wrong with that?
I'll tell you then.
Oh, I can move the camera.
You enjoy all the killing. That's why.
What?
Are you denying it? Haven't you already killed most of my comrades?
I wish I could say
That
no,
was-
but I didn't find the M9, so I couldn't.
I watched your face as you delivered the coup de grace. Oh, it reflected such vitality.
You're wrong.
There is a killer inside you. You don't have to deny it.
Well,
We
they were trying to kill
created
me, so I
be
mean...
that way.
Created.
Les enfants terribles. The terrible children. That's what the project was called. It started in the 1970s. Their plan was to artificially create the most powerful soldier possible. The person that they chose as the model was a man known then as the greatest living soldier in the world.
Big boss.
Big boss.
But Father was wounded in combat and already in a coma when they brought him in. So they created us from his cells, with a combination of 20th century analog cloning and the super baby method.
Oh my god, we're clones.
Super baby method.
Super Meat Boy?
They fertilized an egg with one of Father's cells, and then let it divide into 8 clone babies. Then they transferred the clones to someone's uterus, and later intentionally aborted 6 of the fetuses to encourage strong fetal growth. You and I were originally octuplets.
Octuplets?
Yes. The other 6 of our brothers were sacrificed to make us. We were accomplices in murder before the day we were even born. So, it was you and I, 2 fertilized eggs with exactly the same DNA. But they weren't finished yet.
It wasn't exactly
They
the same
used
where you would
me
look
as a
like me and I would have that amazing
to
hair.
create a phenotype in which all of the dominant genes were expressed to create you. I got all the recessive genes. You took everything from me before I was even born.
Recessive genes don't really don't have to be
But
bad. I mean,
you and I aren't his only children.
What?
they're just recessive.
The
It
genome
means that
soldiers. They too are his progeny.
the other ones take
carrying
priority.
on
I
his
don't know what they're
genetic
called
legacy.
in
But
the
unlike
dominant
us,
genes. That's what they're called.
they
The
carry
dominant
it
genes take
digitally.
priority.
With the completion of the Human Genome Project in the last century, the mysteries of humanity were laid bare. Thanks to Father's DNA, they were able to identify more than 60 soldier genes responsible for everything from strategic thinking to the proverbial killer instinct. Those soldier genes were transplanted using gene therapy into the members of the next generation special forces. That's how they became the genome soldiers.
For a bunch of genetically
That's
enhanced
right.
soldiers, they were a bunch of
The
dumbasses
genome
too.
soldiers that you've been killing right and left are our brothers with the same genes as ours.
The genome
Meaning
soldiers.
we're perverts too, because
They
they
are
kind of drooled
misshapen
over
creatures, artificially
simple
produced from Father's
books
genetic
with
pattern.
girls on them.
They are our blood brothers, and they were born of many an ultimate sacrifice.
Sacrifices.
Human experiments. 1991, the Gulf War. The military secretly injected soldiers with the soldier genes. The Gulf War syndrome that hundreds of thousands of returning soldiers complained about was a side effect of it.
Ha! Everyone knows that the Gulf War syndrome was caused by exposure to pesticides and radiation from depleted uranium rounds.
Wikipedia
That
told
was
us
just
that.
a cover story issued by the Pentagon. First, they tried to say it was post-traumatic stress disorder, then chemical or biological weapons. The poison gas detection units and the anti-sarin injections, they were all just to cover up the secret genetic experiments.
So then, the so-called Gulf War babies that have been reported by Gulf War veterans are...
Yes, they too are our brothers and sisters.
So the genome soldiers mean that the experiments were a success?
Success? Don't be a fool. They're a complete failure.
They're
We're
dumbasses.
on the verge of extinction.
What?
Have you ever heard of the asymmetry theory? Nature tends to favor asymmetry. Those species which have gone extinct all show signs of symmetry. The genome soldiers suffer from the same problem, signs of symmetry.
Is this true?
So do I, as do you. That's right. We are all on the verge of death at the genetic level. We don't know when or what type of disease will occur. That's why we need the old man's genetic information.
You want Big Boss's DNA so you can save your family? It's very touching.
In nature,
least
family
he
members
has
don't mate with each other.
Good motivation.
They help each other to survive. Do you know why? Because it increases the chances that shared genes will be transmitted to future generations.
Yep.
Altruism among blood relatives is a response to natural selection. That we will help our blood relatives is inscribed in our very genes.
You're telling me that your genes are ordering you to save the genome soldiers?
You can't fight your genes. It's fate. All living things are born for the sole purpose of passing on their parents' genes. That's why I'll follow what my genes tell me. And then, I'm going to go beyond, in order to break the curse of my heritage. And to do that, first, I will kill you.
Oh my god.
Look behind you.
Can we continue?
Meryl?
Meryl! You're right there and you look fine despite... Who gave you medical attention? The enemy?
Is she alive?
I'm not sure. She was alive a few hours ago. Poor girl kept calling your name.
Oh my god.
Meryl?
Stupid woman. Falling in love with a man who doesn't even have a name?
I have a name.
No. We have no past, no future. If we did, our fate is nothing but what is determined in the genes we inherited from our father.
Let Meryl go.
As soon as we finished our business, we're almost out of time.
You're talking about Foxdie.
No. It seems now that the Pentagon knows that Metal Gear is destroyed. They've arrived at a decision. They won't even need a BDA. If you want the details, why don't you ask your precious Colonel Campbell?
The asshole. Colonel Asshole.
Colonel, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
What is the Pentagon trying to do? Colonel, answer me.
The Secretary of Defense has taken over active control of this operation. He's on his way there by AWACS.
What for?
To bomb the place.
What?
Not only that, B-2 bombers just lifted off from Galena Air Force Base. They're carrying B-6113 surface-piercing tactical nuclear bombs.
And you weren't
What?
gonna tell me this.
Metal Gear is destroyed. Tell the Secretary of Defense.
The Secretary of Defense heard that Naomi double-crossed us, and he's worried about Foxdie. Now that there's no more danger of a nuclear strike from Metal Gear, he's going to do whatever's necessary to cover up the truth of what really happened here.
He's going to drop a nuclear bomb to vaporize all the evidence, along with anyone who knows anything.
Don't worry, Snake. I'll stop the nuclear strike.
How?
I don't really trust
I may
you.
be only a figurehead here, but I'm still officially in command of this mission. If I issue an order to delay the strike, it'll confuse the chain of command and at least buy you some time. It'll give you a chance to escape.
But Colonel, if you do that...
It's okay, Snake. The truth is, Foxhound was already the subject of an undercover investigation. Merrill was transferred to this base just before the terrorist attack as a way of manipulating me.
Those bastards.
Assholes.
I'm sorry. They forced me to cooperate in exchange for her life. You'd better get out of there, Snake.
Yes,
Are
let's
you
get out of
sure?
here, Snake.
It'll be bad for you.
Don't worry. It's the least I can do for you after all the lies.
Colonel.
I'm ordering them to cancel the bombing run. After that, there's no turning back. Huh? What are you doing?
Someone just grabbed my balls.
Snake!
Mei Ling! What
It was
happened to
Mei
the
Ling.
Colonel?